I want to tell you today why telling yourself how you should feel is abuse to yourself. Now, let's hear me out. I know that sounds bizarre, but we have lost the ability to trust ourselves and trust our gut feelings and trust that intuition that we have. And we start to, our first thought, and then we start changing that thought by telling ourselves what we should feel and what we should think instead of just sitting with and being comfortable with how we truly feel. For example, sometimes when something bad happens, when something unexpected happens, sometimes we can feel peace and we think everything's going to be okay. But then we start panicking in our mind and we don't let ourselves sit with that feeling, and we think of everything that could possibly go wrong with X, Y, and Z, and we don't just sit with that feeling. And then we start panicking and we start thinking of all these scenarios that are so horrible and bad. Yet, let me turn it around for another example. Sometimes something bad happens and we're really upset and we're really disappointed and we're just not maybe angry, but angry usually is masking another feeling. But we're hurt, we're sad, we're upset, we're devastated. Instead of just sitting with that feeling and letting that feeling be there and allowing ourselves to feel and be present and be vulnerable, we start telling ourselves how you should feel. Well, be grateful. You should be grateful. You should be happy that nothing else happened. You should. And when we are always telling ourselves how we should feel, instead of allowing ourselves to feel what we actually feel, our feelings don't even trust ourselves. We don't even trust ourselves with our feelings. We can't even be vulnerable with ourselves of how we truly feel in that moment. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be devastated. It's okay to feel like all those feelings. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be excited. It's okay to feel at peace even when bad things happen. And we can sit with those emotions and sit next to them and just let it be. Be present with them and say it's okay that you feel this way, and let that emotion work through you. It usually will come out in tears, come out in laughter. Let that be what it is. Or if we allow ourselves to be happy and we allow ourselves to laugh and be happy in that moment and just be with it and feel it, we start telling ourselves, oh, you shouldn't be happy. You should feel upset because this happened yesterday. Or you should feel this way because when you were 5, you were told that you were stupid and you are not allowed to feel successful and feel accomplished. And we tell ourselves these lies and our feelings start distrusting ourselves. And let's see how this spills over into relationships. If we can't even trust our own selves with how we feel, how do we expect that we can trust someone else with our feelings? And usually sometimes we don't, or we give them the wrong emotions. So say I'm upset and I'm hurt. Well, that will come out in anger, usually, at someone else. And I'm not sharing with them my true feelings of that hurt me and I'm really sad and I want to sit with this emotion for a second. I'm going to be angry and this is what I'm going to do about it. And we always think what we have to do next. Because when you're upset or something's happened, we think, I don't know what to do. We think we have to come up with a plan of what we have to do next. But we don't. We can sit with those emotions. We can let them go through us and just live in the moment. And it's okay to feel. It's okay to trust ourselves with our feelings. And therefore, when we know our feelings better, we know ourselves better, it's not projected onto somebody else. And it's not spit at somebody else to hurt someone else because I feel hurt. Right? And so this is the most important thing I see with so many clients, is we've lost our ability to trust ourselves and trust our gut feelings and trust how I feel. Especially if you've been gaslighted or you've been manipulated, mind games. It's really hard to look back and say, no, this was real. So let yourself live in those moments. Feel what you feel because it is real. And you deserve to feel those things. You deserve to feel happiness to its fullest extent. You deserve to feel sad when something sad has happened. You deserve all those feelings. And the number one way that you can start coming more in tune with yourself is stop saying how you should feel. Just feel what you feel and be okay with it and sit with it. Even if it's really hard, just sit with it for a moment. And I promise you'll become more in touch with yourself and trust yourself more.